Welcome to the Cables, Lace, and Tails podcast. My name is Sue, and I'm a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. Happy New Year! Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate all the views I got. I really enjoy sharing my crochet objects. I did work on my temperature blanket, but I'm not going to show it right now. I have about 5 things I'm going to show. I worked on a great deal more during the break, but to talk about each and every single one of them would be like a 2-hour video, and no one has time for that at this moment in time. So I'm going to get into one thing I really wanted to work on and get further along, which is the vegetable patch cardigan. I got it out of my Homestead Cables book, and the pattern is by Anni Howard. I'm going to show you a picture here. It is a longer cardigan. Oops, it's called a jacket, actually. Vegetable patch jacket. It goes down to about, upper mid-thigh, depending on how tall you are. I have finished the back panel and started the left panel. So the back panel has a line of thread through it, which denotes where the armhole starts, because it's essentially a drop shoulder construction. It's so pretty. There's ribbing 2x2 and a very simple cable pattern. And then when you get up to the neck, you actually bind off these stitches. And then you work each shoulder separately. It was a little finagling. I was like, what? And I had to reread the pattern multiple times. Hopefully my cat doesn't play with the cords. So once I read the pattern multiple times and kind of figured it out, I have been rewriting this pattern on a separate piece of paper so I only see my size pattern repeats, so to speak. It really helps a lot. So I finished this. I was so happy. I was like, yes. And then I cast on the left front, which is the next piece. I'm going to show you. The yarn I am using is called Shire Heather, and it is from Knit Picks Wool of the Andes line, worsted weight. It's beautiful. This is Knit Picks worsted weight Wool of the Andes in the color Currant. And this is my Frankie Genzer. I may or may not talk about it a lot today because I have talked about this quite a bit. It is a very oversized pattern. It's not real size inclusive, but it's like really oversized, so it could fit a lot of different sizes. And I'm sure you could make like a modification of it being a little shorter or a little longer. It's a compound raglan, and it kind of needs a little hair trimming. I really like it though. I like the long ribs. It was a really fun make. Now back to the cardigan. So this yarn is a 100% Peruvian Highland. It's really pretty. It has all these like goldens and blues and greens. It's like deep forest moss. So when you start this, the left front, you get to a certain point in the pattern, which is right where the hole is, and then you put this side on hold, and you work this side, and this is going to be, this is the button placket. I'm going to hold it up here so you can see. And you work up to a certain point in the pattern, and you finish with the wrong side row, and you put that on hold, and then you work over here, and you cast on stitches for this flap, which is going to essentially be the pocket. And then once you get to that same spot in the pattern, you cast off the pocket part and you join all the stitches together. At first I thought I would pin the pocket down so it wouldn't be flopping all over the place and getting in my way, but it hasn't been a problem at all. When you block this piece, which I don't know how I'm going to block this. I don't really know yet. I'll figure it out. I have ideas, like I would pin it down, maybe with some small pin, or, you know, like a T-pin. But they go anyway, they go through the foam all the way down, and I don't want to like snag stuff, but I'll block it, and then I will sew it to the back side. The pattern repeat is really simple and really fun, and now I can just work continuously to that underarm area, which I'll either measure, or it's written in the pattern or in my notes, and I'll just go back and forth following the pattern that I have established. I'm using Knitter's Pride size 6 Zing. They are a blunted tip. I wouldn't consider these a good needle for a lot of cable patterns or those intricate cable patterns because of the blunt tip, but they seem to be working just fine with this one. And the pattern itself called for a US 8, and I could not get gauge with it. I tried, I went down to a 7, and I finally got gauge with a 6. I'm having some gauge issues with some other things that I will talk about in a future podcast, but so far so good. I wanted to show you. I have been investing in my craft for years. Sometimes I use the items right away. Sometimes I purchase them and then they wait for that perfect thing. Well, I've invested in these relatively recent, within the last year, and I did have the mustache bar cable needle, but when I tried to use it for this pattern, it was nearly impossible. The stitches would fall off. It's a very simple cable pattern, and I just put 2 stitches on here, and either in front or back, and it just kind of just sits there. It doesn't stretch anything out. It doesn't create any hassle. I've been really, really glad I invested in my craft. I will show some other investments I have made over the last year or so, here and there. I'm not telling anybody to, you know, run out and buy all these things, but through my own trial and error or learning, I found that actually I need, you know, 2 sets of sock needles so I can just make 2 socks at the same time, not on the same needle. Or I need a multitude of different sizes. You know, like I have, let me just think. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different, maybe 7 different types of needles that are of the same size, because sometimes I'm working on lots of projects that require that size, and I don't always like to transfer over stuff, which I'm going to have to do for another project, because then it feels like stuff gets like forgotten about, you know, like, oh, well, I have things on the needles, I better get it done type of thing. That's just who I am. Now, over Christmas, it was quite busy. I did work on Mondays and Tuesdays of that 2-week period. I worked ticket booths, and I was able to knit a little bit during one shift. Yeah, like one shift. And so it wasn't like a really big time of getting stuff done, and yet I got quite a bit done over the last 2 weeks when I was really, really busy. There's a lot that I'm not talking about because stress and chaos. But the winter solstice oh, I don't remember what day it was, but it was the winter solstice, and I was baking cookies all that weekend, and I thought to myself, I'm going to celebrate for getting the back panel done of my vegetable patch cardigan and cast something new. I've been wanting to make this pattern for a really, really, really long time. And I just kind of, you know, it's summer, so I don't always want to work on a sweater pattern, or I'm working on all these other things, or then there was the dishcloth era, which I should just start making more dishcloths here and there, but whatever. I have decided to make the wilderness sweater. There, I will just cover my notes because I don't want to give away too much, and the whole pattern is on this other page. Now, I'm using this book. She actually has another one. I'm losing all my stuff. Wilderness Knits. And there's only like 4 sizes. I'm just losing everything. So here's the sweater. I have enough. I bought enough Alafosslopi yarn to make 3 sweaters, not all at the same time. It was over a period of time that I was buying this yarn, but I bought it like in either 2 or 3 purchases, and I knew I wanted to make at least 3 sweaters. So I kind of have like the bases of certain colors, and I was debating, well, do I want it in a gray base or do I want it in a black base? Because I bought a lot of black. For whatever reason, I decided to buy a lot of black. Maybe it was on sale. I got it from Little Knits Seattle. They're an online yarn store, and don't want to lose my stitches. I cast on a sleeve. I thought about casting on the whole body, you know, and just kind of working it right away, but I just wanted something small, and I even thought about being able to take this with me when we traveled for Christmas, but I didn't because I have to do increases, and it's just so black, and like talking to people is not very easy to make things. But I decided to have the blue and the pink with the black because it's my solstice sweater. I know it's a wilderness sweater, the title, but in my mind, it's going to be my solstice sweater. And let's see if I can get that picture again. I keep losing paper. So the blue and the pink, like here and here and down here and then up here. And then the paw prints will be pink, and then this white section is going to be yellow for like the sun is coming back. And the blue and the pink are like those soft colors you see in the sky when it's not cloudy. And Wisconsin is very cloudy in the winter most of the time. So I'm not taking them out of the package. This is the yellow, and here's the pink. I don't know. I mean, by the time, if you bought it off of their website, I don't know if it had the same dye lot, or let's see. The color number for the yellow is 1235, and the color number for the pink is 1239. And I do know that the blue is called Arctic blue because that's the same color blue I used in my Foika sweater. I'm like, what the hell was it called? My Foika sweater. So I cast on, and when I made my Foika sweater, I did not have this size double pointed needle. I got these off of Knit Picks. There was a sale a long time ago, and I invested in myself the set of double pointed needles. They're 8 inches and they go from 4 to US 4 to US 9. But this yarn, Alafosslopi, is bulky weight and it requires a US 10 for my gauge as well. I got gauge like the book says, using a US 10. So I decided a while ago that the next time I make one of these, I would have a larger double pointed needle because I used circular needles for my sleeve the first time. Not at first. At first I got these needles during COVID. And they're really nice. Oh, I got the wrong thing. Well, I got the wrong bin. I bought the Clover double pointed needles, but they're like the 5-inch size, and the stitches kept falling off because you end up with, I'm trying to think, 60 on the 4 needles. 15 stitches per needle. It's quite a bit. In fact, I did transfer 15 stitches to 2 of the needles so I could just have the increase. I've learned. There was a lot of learning from the last one. I can increase here and I can increase there. And then I have the 15 here. And as you can see, there's just enough room for them not to fall off. So I thought the next time I make one of these sweaters, I'm going to have the tools that I need and want to work with. These needles, I don't even know what they're made out of. Oh, they're the Sunstruck wood set. It's like a birch. They are super, super glidey soft. They have a nice point. Let's see. I'll go against my sweater. They have a nice point. They're sturdy. I really, really like these. You don't want to break them because, you know, wood needles are more fragile than metal, but you can still bend metal needles. So I was really happy that I started this. The color work looks pretty good. And now I am learning my mistakes from my previous Foika sweater and how I matched the pattern up and the underarm, the whole bit. I don't think you would be able to see with that black color my increases very well, but I want to make sure I line up the pattern pieces correctly this time. So I've been studying the pattern a little bit more. It doesn't give you a lot of information because it's a Norwegian pattern. Norwegian patterns are essentially kind of hands-free. So I invested in I'm using the US 10 right now, but I have invested in some of the other larger sizes, which I think I used a 10.5 for the color work on the cuff, and I probably should have gone up to a full size, to 11. Just because it seems a little cinchy, and I probably was tense when I was knitting it. So I'm gonna really look at it some more. And my thought is, I'm not undoing it. It is what it is for that side. But my thought is to get to a certain point before I start the color work again for the upper arm, put them on hold, do the other sleeve, and see what it looks like with the other bigger needle. Does it look the same? Does it look too weird? Do I go up to, I think I have a 10.75, a 10.5, and then the 11s. So I have some options there. I have enough yarn for the whole thing, and I'm really looking forward to working on it some more. I was working on it quite a bit over break, but then things happened. And I'm like, I really should finish some other stuff now. Or I really wanted to get other things cast on. And the next thing I actually cast on was my own design. Do I have that here? So I created a wrist warmer using Knit Like a Latvian as a guide. And so I'll just do this. Now, my first one turned out, okay. The ribbing on one side is real wonky because I was watching a movie and I wasn't paying attention, and I kind of got loosey-goosey and I really wanted to finish it. But the thing I'm going to think about changing for my next one is, see right here in this middle of this leaf motif. Now, I copied it right out of the book. It is what it's supposed to be. But when you look at it, you don't really see it. I mean, you can, but I think if I just had a line of green for that one round, it would just look more cohesive. Now I'm using leftover yarn for the brown marl. Is called Briar Twist. I made a cardigan out of that same yarn, and then I was going to use caper, the color caper, which is a dark green. I thought that would be really cool for the trees, but when I started knitting with it, it was too brown, and you didn't see the design at all. So I decided to look in my stash, and I got this beautiful, almost iridescent green. It's called pea pod or sweet pea. It is palette, is pea pod. So this is palette yarn from Knit Picks. It's a 2-ply Highland Peruvian wool. I was wearing my cowl that I made out of this yarn. What is it called? This palette yarn, but in different colors. And I was at work today and it smelled really sheepy and it was really cozy and I was really happy. Anyway, so this color stood out better with the brown marl. I have cast on my second one. I started this just recently. And I'm right at the point of adding the green to this. I'm using my Knitter's Pride, I want to call them sock needles, but they might be lace needles. I think it's a sock knitting set. I have size 0 to size 3, US size 0 to US size 3, and I got these during COVID time. They are the blunt tip. I really like them. I make a lot of socks using these needles. It's fine for color work. So this fits. The only bummer with this one is, you see how wonky it is, but that's the top. Now if it was like the chain, my blue and orange ones, where the flower, and you can wear them either way and it doesn't matter. But I mean, it really doesn't matter. So, oops, let's do this. So I have my trees. They came out pretty good. I have blocked this. I have not weaved in the ends, obviously. So I will make the next one. I think I'm going to change the pattern just a little bit, just to see, because I would like to be able to see the green leaf motif a little bit better. And maybe it's just the yarn choice I made with the brown and white marl, where it kind of blends really well. It was an easy pattern to follow. And you could, you get the basic construction for the wrist warmer, and wrist warmers are relatively easy to make. And then you can put any kind of motifs. In my mind, I have been thinking, ooh, I would like, and then, so anyone can design their own. All you need is graph paper. I did put it in a protective thing so I would have it. And let's see. What else? Well, when I went away for Christmas. We were gone Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I brought my Sailor Swift top because I could just knit in the round and it was real easy. I did knit a dishcloth on the way there and back. I'm getting there. There is 3 inches. I did try it on. I don't know if I mentioned that at all. I did try it on. It does fit. I'm so happy. I did a smaller size on top, and then when I got to this area, I added stitches to equal the larger size. I was doing, I'm like thinking here, I was doing the invisible join at first, but I didn't like it. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but if you can see, I don't know if you can, I'm getting these like, yeah, you can see these little holy areas. And then I did like, I'm like, I'm just gonna see, does it really make that much of a difference? And no, I mean, it's under the arm. I don't really plan on wearing this out, you know, fancy or whatever. I really like having a more cohesive join color-wise, but then I like having no hole here where I have to fix it later. I did make a tad mistake, and I will fix it on the next round. So this green little spot, this little marker, is to denote the last stitch of the round, and the next stitch is the first stitch of the next round. And I did not do that. I did one too many of the sweet potato color. So I'm using the color sweet potato and goldenrod. My cousin calls it my Bert and Ernie shirt, which is really fitting because it does look like Bert and Ernie. And she loves Bert and Ernie. She's always loved Bert and Ernie. Anyway, little side tangent. I'm going to have to take these needles from this project. So I'm going to have to put it on hold for a while until I finish my next project. So I am using Patton's Linen, which is a mixture of cotton and linen yarn. It's really lovely. I really enjoyed knitting this back and forth versus in the round. It's not bad, but I can't do it for more than like 3 rounds in any one setting because then my hands get really tired. I am using US 2, I think. No, I'm using a US 2.5. This is Knit Picks Reflections set. It's a lace weight set that they have. I really like them. I invested in these when they were on sale. There was like you could buy the regular reflections, the regular size needles, the shorties, and then the lace set. And it was like 30% off. And so, or maybe more, or I had another coupon. I can't remember, but it was a really good investment. I really like them. So why am I going to have to put this on hold for a little bit? Well, with my Upcycle cardigan, I got really far on that as well. I finished the second sleeve. I sewed up the shoulder seams. I think I showed that the last time I was talking. I showed up the shoulder seams. I finished the second sleeve. I blocked all the pieces, and then I'm just going to try and hold it. It's getting big. I have set the sleeves in, but I haven't sewn up the sleeve itself. So I just whip stitched the sleeve here in. I know it's really hard to see because it's gray. The color is titanium, and I'm using Knit Picks Upcycle Alpaca blend. I mean, it's not too bad. And it's a mixture of alpaca, wool, and acrylic. I'm glad I'm making it into a cardigan because it sometimes is a bit warm with the acrylic added. It does have beautiful drape. It's beautiful. I tried, it was yesterday. We had a remote learning day, which in my district, we only get 2 snow days per year. And we have already used up 1 snow day, and we had an early release, which then eats into the 2nd snow day. And we just got an email today saying now until the end of winter, if there is a snow day, like inclement weather where we can't get to school, we're actually doing remote learning. So I get to either work, I think I either take a personal day or I get to work. I don't know if I can use sick pay. So yesterday, I did some remote learning myself. We have to take classes, and so I learned about phonics. It was actually quite fascinating. I learned that, as I said to a friend, I don't know if I never learned this because of a few factors. One, I don't know if I learned it. Now, I went to grade school in the 70s, so I don't even think this was a thing. I really don't. But I don't think I learned it because of, one, I went to 7 different schools by the time I was a freshman in high school. And when you go to 7 different districts, they're not the same. Not even in the same state. One might be ahead, one might be behind. They might be teaching it at a different age, or I got there after the fact. Anyway, so also I had a head injury, which I lost some information just on general, like I couldn't do math in my head, for example. But learning this now and seeing how they teach it now will help me in the future with, when I work summer school or when I'm in a classroom and I'm helping students, or whatever, or just my own knowledge. So I sat and learned for 4 hours yesterday, and it was glorious. But after I was done, I had some time between that and supper, and I thought, I'm going to sew up my sleeve. Yeah. Now, it was raining here. I hate rain in the summer. I do not like rain in January or winter at all. It is the worst. It's glare ice. It is not fun. So the sky was about as dark as this sweater, maybe not as dark, and I could not see the stitches for the life of me. When I was trying to pin it together, seeing like where I would sew it up, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be with all the lights on a bright sunny day and some dedication, because this is gonna be hard. So I put it off to the side. Now, I want to get it done soon because I would really like to wear this. Once I get the arms and the sides sewn together, I will need to pick up and knit a 1x1, is it? Yeah, a 1x1 rib for the collar, and I'm doing a crew neck. And then after that, I will pick up the button bands on either side. To do that, I need the 2.5 US 2.5 needles that are on my Sailor Swift top. So, yeah, I mean, it's not hard to put things on the side. It's just the pain in the butt. Like, if I had another pair of those US 2.5s, then I wouldn't even have to worry about it. But, it is what it is. So, I would like to thank all of you for sitting with me today, catching up on all of the things that I have been working on over Christmas break. There are more, but I'm not going to talk about those during this podcast. being on YouTube for the past year has really taught me a lot. I may not have the best views, or I may not have the most subscribers, but it has given me a lot of confidence that I never even knew it would. When I first started this YouTube channel, I thought two things. One, I miss talking about my minks. I really like showing, sharing, and learning from others, and I just really miss talking about it. Like this Frankie sweater, or Frankie Genzer by Sandus Garn. I'm going to hold it up. It's a compound raglan. This is Wool of the Andes worsted weight in the color Currant. It's really, really soft. I really enjoy wearing it. I really like having the long twisted rib, or I don't know if it's a full twisted rib or a half twisted rib. It's really nice. I did the Italian bind off on it. Would I do the Italian bind off again? Sure. Or maybe not. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just took forever. And when I did it on the bottom here, it took me hours. I mean, so many hours. And I had too much yarn. That was one of the problems. But this pattern is really oversized. It is not very size inclusive. They don't, I think they have like 4 sizes. But it is so oversized that it could fit a large range of body types. I bought another book with Christmas money. Where did I put them? I had them right here. I bought some books because I really enjoy knitting Norwegian patterns. And I was looking through them, and they are not very size inclusive. And I don't know if it's because, like, are Norwegians just in better shape because they're always out and about and walking around, or do they just wear things a little oversized? I don't have answers for that at all. But I did buy, and I've been wanting this for a really long time. I bought hand knits from Rauma, which is a local yarn brand there. I bought it because I wanted to knit this sweater. I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, I'm going to make that. This book requires a lot of steeking. There's a brown version. I have never steeked anything. It is something I would like to teach myself. And I'm just looking here. It seems really scary. Simple yet scary. And then, oops, here's another pattern. I mean, it's just so pretty. I could totally see my daughter in this. But this pattern has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It only has 5 sizes. Let's see. If I were to wear it, I would have to make it in the largest size. So, and then I got, this was kind of an impulse, but I really like some of their patterns. Norwegian sweaters and jackets. This one has more inclusive sizes, but it also is, but not all the patterns. Like even this one here, I really like this one. It's called Hope. I would have to make the largest size. It doesn't say, you know, like in some of the pattern books that I have now, for example, Kukukavika or Sari Nordland, it states in the instructions, like, make with 0 positive ease, or choose a size that is 10 inches positive ease or whatever. So, I mean, but the patterns in here are gorgeous. I want to find the one that I was like in love with that made me buy it. Like, I've always wanted a sweater like this. But there's a bunch of them in here. So this was a fun buy because, you know, I mean, who wouldn't like to wear a sweater like that? So I invested in myself. I'm trying not to feel guilty about doing such things because it brings me joy. This brings me a lot of joy, and I have a lot to finish. So I have a lot to make and a lot to finish, and I'm really glad I cast on some new projects. And I'm really glad I'm starting to design my own things. The more you learn, the more you find things are easier, or you're willing to take on that challenge of steeking. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Have fun. Bye for now.